Hi everyone, I'm GREYMOND. Today I wanted to talk to you about how to do ERP properly and what's supposed to happen when you do ERP. When you are doing ERP, it's not in the moment supposed to work. It's not supposed to alleviate the anxiety in the moment. A lot of the times when people are starting out in OCD recovery, they'll say, I did ERP, but it didn't work. Like today, in the last hour, I did ERP, but it didn't work. What is supposed to happen? What is this work that you expect to happen, right? It's not going to alleviate OCD because you disregarded the thought once after paying attention to it a million times, right? This is just one step towards the recovery. So you did good by disregarding. What's going to happen? What are you going to feel? You're going to feel a pummeling effect of your brain being in shock. Why are you disregarding? How dare you disregarding after paying attention to it so many times? I will send this to you a million times. And it will send it to you a million times. And a million times you have to disregard. This is literally the process that everybody who has OCD, doesn't matter the theme, everybody goes through the same thing. Is thought comes in, you disregard, and then it comes in a million times throughout the course of the day. And you continue to disregard and continue to move on with the rest of the day. Without panic, right? Not like you're running away from the thought, not like you're trying to make the thought go away, but okay, OCD, as I always say in my other videos, view it as your next door neighbor talking, right? Okay, next door neighbor, you're saying what you're saying, I don't care, I'm going about my business. Because my business is what's important. And whatever you're saying is not. I've heard that a million times before, right? So that has to be your attitude all day long. And then this attitude, this is what gets you recovered. Because as you are continuing to do this, the brain learns that this is no longer relevant. And as it learns that this is no longer relevant, the anxiety that it autopilot sends you drops. And as the anxiety drops, you're able to better disregard. It stops being at the forefront of your mind. It starts to be just a background noise and then fades away completely. And that's recovery. In the moment, no magic is going to happen. The only magic is you disregarding. That's the magic. But in terms of having positive feedback in the moment when you're doing ERP, feeling like it's working, it's going to be an overtime thing. This is what I'm saying, that because you repeated the wrong thing to the brain over and over again, because you've done compulsions, because you've done rumination, and this was the same with me when I was going through OCD, of course. Everybody's pretty much in the same boat, right? It takes a lot of repetitions to undo that. So I would say that you will start to feel better little by little over the course of the next, I would say, 3 to 6 months. So I still stick, over the years, I've been done over 600, 700 videos, right? And I kind of always pretty much say the same thing, that, the recovery takes about 6 months of actually focused on recovery work, focused on ERP, not just suffering for a certain amount. But I mean, the actual focused recovery, once you start to do it, I would say about 3 months to feel fine, and then the rest is kind of just to keep it being fine, and then I would say even past the 6 months also being careful not to have it come back because the brain is freshly recovered. So this process, and I mean, I've seen hundreds of clients, and this timeline pretty much still sticks. So it is that process of continuously doing recovery work and not expecting results right away, because a lot of the time people get caught up in, I was doing ERP and I didn't see results. And when you ask them how long have they been doing ERP, it's very, very short amount of time, right? And then they get discouraged, and then they don't do ERP anymore. They start to do rumination, they start to do compulsions, and they get deeper into OCD. So if you understand how ERP works, there's no way that if you train your brain that something is important and scary, there's no way it can shift overnight. Your brain, that part of the brain is designed to protect you. So it's just like an example of this would be, say, if somebody was living in a war zone and they got moved out of that war zone, their brain is not going to immediately shift, right? It's going to take some time to readjust. That is exactly what you're doing, is you're readjusting from a terrible situation of having OCD, viewing all of these things as valid to whatever extent you had OCD, right? To not. And it takes time. Give yourself that time. Don't rush yourself. Just look at it as moment to moment. If you have PUREO, please, guys, track the amount of time you are ruminating, the amount of time you're responding to the thought. It's so vital. I can see with clients, the ones that are doing it are recovering. And again, I say the same numbers because week to week, months to months, they hold up. I can see with new clients the same thing. It holds up. That clients who track it do, I would say, 70 to 80% better than clients that don't. Because if you know that, okay, in the morning I ruminated yesterday an hour and a half, or I like to do it in minutes, so I ruminated for 90 minutes. So today I have to be lower than 90 minutes. So I'll be, okay, 80 minutes. And the next day 70 and 60. And then you'll be at 0 in no time at all. In literally weeks, you will reduce your rumination. And that means you're getting your life back, which is so important. I mean, do you want to ruminate your entire morning, or do you want to be feeling like, at least, well, it's the process, so you won't feel good very quickly, but you will feel good enough to refuse rumination. Because when you're at 10 out of 10, I understand that you can't fully refuse, right? So you refuse the best you can, but then anxiety drops and you're able to refuse a little more. And in 2 weeks, you're like, oh, I almost didn't ruminate at all this morning. And that's great. And you're getting your life back. Your self-esteem goes up. So you will see these results. But don't get discouraged that you're not seeing it in the moment, because that's not how recovery works. There's no one who sees it in the moment. Maybe when they're further along and, they're getting OCD thoughts very infrequently, okay, and it's like 2 out of 10, so, or say 5 out of 10 OCD towards the end of their recovery, and they said, no, disregarding, and the thought didn't even come back because it's already weak. But in the beginning, this doesn't happen. It's going to continue to pummel you. So look at it as, this is just the process of OCD. I will reap those rewards. It's like kind of like planting something, right, from the seed. It's going to grow, but not right this second, right? There is stuff happening, and behind the scenes, there's stuff happening. But we can't see it. But because you can see it, it doesn't mean that it's not there. I hope you find my videos helpful. The OCD Recovery Network is available through youhaveocd.com. So you can sign up for that if you would like tech support and have kind of on-the-go tech support relating to your OCD. There's also recovery sessions available with me, also through youhaveocd.com. So you can sign up for that there. Thank you for watching. I will be back tomorrow.